I can go left to right, up to down. This gimbal takes away all the shakiness in all my videos. This thing is badass. I really should have got one of these a long time ago. I'm loving it. All right, in today's video, guys, we're gonna go over changing your serpentine belts. I'm gonna go over the specs, how easy it is to do it. On the alternator belt, you're gonna want anywhere from 3 to 4 millimeters of tension. And then on the AC compressor, you're gonna want anywhere from 8 to 9 millimeters of tension. So first things first, we're gonna go ahead and jack the car up. And then you're gonna wanna remove your under tray. To ensure everything's being done to spec, let's take a look what the service manual says, shall we? So I'll link these down below, the Continental belts. They're about 25 bucks. I've had a great experience with them. I got, let's see, according to my service records, 122,000 miles is the last time I replaced them. So I'm at 180 right now, so it's about 60,000 miles. So what we're looking for before we get started here is there's these two tensioner pulleys, one here and one here. You're gonna have these little screws in the bottom of them that actually put tension, or it moves this pulley up to put tension on these belts. So to get started, you're just going to loosen the nut on this a little bit on each one, and then you're going to loosen the actual nut on the pulley. And once you loosen the nut on the pulley, then it'll drop down to whatever you loosen this. So you only loosen it just a wee little bit, let it drop down just enough to get the tension off these belts. So what we're looking for is, let's see if we can get this camera to pan down in here. This pulley right here, that's the very first one that has the alternator on it. And then the one for the AC compressor is right down here, as you can see right there. And the belts are pretty cracked on that, pretty bad. All right, right here's your tensioner pulley for the alternator. And you need a 12 millimeter socket. You're gonna go ahead and just loosen this up. Get an angle here, just loosen it up a little bit. And then once you crack it loose, you can just take your fingers and let it drop down just like this a little bit. Okay, I found out it's actually, I said it wrong in the beginning, is you're going to want to crack this loose first and then start doing this, because if you start turning this loose without this cracked, it wasn't moving. I was turning it to the left and it stopped. I was like, why would it stop? So then I loosened this, and now as I turn it to the left, now the whole unit starts to drop down. Here, I'll show you. Alright, once this is dropped down far enough, the belt will become loose enough, you can just pull it over this pulley like so. And then we're just gonna go ahead and yank it out. Now remember which way you put it in here. It goes up over this pulley, alternator, because it'll go back in the exact same way as you found it. Pull this flashlight out. Right over here on this side is where your AC compressor tensioner is. It's right here. It takes a 14 millimeter socket, and then to actually loosen the tension, here's the nut right here. It goes up in there, as you can see right here. See it back here? And it's attached right there to the pulley. So we'll go ahead and crack this open. And these don't go on very tight. They go on 26 pound-feet of torque. So I like to use the small wrench to ensure that when I put this back on, we're not over torquing it. So go ahead and loosen this up. Take a 12 millimeter socket right here. And go ahead and just start loosening it. And that'll drop it down. It should be enough. Let's see. Yep. And there we go. So if we take a look at the AC compressor belt, it definitely needed replacing. It's cracked up pretty bad, but I don't see any actual missing teeth, so that's good. But if you look at the one that's on the alternator, it looks pretty good. And I think that's because at 150 I probably just replaced it and grabbed the belt when I was in at the store. But since it's only 25 bucks for both of these, it's simple maintenance, and you know, ripping a belt will leave you stranded. So let's go ahead, and that's why I decided to replace them both. So you're going to want to put the AC compressor belt on first, because if you put the alternator one on first, you won't be able to get the AC compressor belt on. So you go ahead and just put it over the pulley here, and then over your AC compressor over here. Alright, so this isn't fully all the way on. Get it back over the crank pulley all the way back here. Just go ahead and stick the belt over the idle pulley like this. Then we're going to pull it down and put this loop over the crank, just like so, and then push this back over the idle pulley. It looks like up top I'm going to have to go up there and pull that. Let me see. Alright, and then just put this over this and we should be good. There we go. And there's the proper way to put it back on. So you can take a look. Okay, once we get the belt aligned and put back in the proper formation, you want to make sure the nut is loose on the tensioner pulley before you go ahead and start tightening this right here, because that'll raise this pulley up and put more tension on this belt. Okay, the spec on actually tightening these belts is 3.5 to 4.5 millimeters on the alternator, and then 8 to 9 millimeters on the AC compressor. And if you look here, you don't want to tighten anything down there before you actually get the belts where you need to be. So what I do is just take a little tape measure, press down on this. You want it pretty snug, and there should be about 3 or 4 millimeters of free play, and then you know you got it tight. And you're going to move over and you're going to do the exact same procedure over here to this belt. You're going to put 8 to 9 millimeters of free play in it. So you want them snug. And there you go. So now once you got these exactly to spec where you want them, then you're going to go down and you're actually going to tighten the bolt on the pulley. Let's do that. Alright guys, so once you have these tightened back down, and it's only 26 pound-feet of torque that you want on these, so it's not very much at all. So just do it like this, because that'll make sure that you're not putting a lot of leverage on the ratchet. So once these are snug and tight, that completes this job. Your belts have now been replaced. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll see you guys next video.